How's it going, everybody? We're back, and it's a little bit different because it's Monday and not Thursday. Well, Thursday I wasn't here. I actually had a lot of medical stuff, and I was hospitalized for a little while. So, yeah, last week I just wasn't able to do anything, be anything, and was mostly not home. So, I figured, you know what? We still have the most of this week until Thursday. You know, we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's a couple days. I might as well do a video in case some people are still holding out because they haven't really seen what they look like in game. So let's jump into the skins that were accepted on Thursday. First things up, we've got no clothing, so we're going to go straight into the deployables. And the Jungle Tomb sleeping bag is our first here. And I've put everything on the jungle skin just because that's kind of what all of this stuff is themed to, and I think people would appreciate seeing how well they match up. And as you can see, this one actually blends in pretty good just with the stone skin itself here, but if you imagine putting this down in a bush in, honestly, the green zone or the jungle, it's pretty much going to disappear. So for $1.99, you can pick up a pretty easily camouflaged bag. And the next question is going to be, well, does it have glow that's going to give it away at night? And no, as you can see, that is not a problem. So if we go ahead and head on over, we got some doors for you. The first one is going to be the Aztec Rock sheet metal door. As you can see, it takes the exact same theme and design from the rock and translates it very beautifully onto a nicely sculpted sheet metal door. And as you can see, it blends in quite well with this building skin. And this only runs you the typical $149, which is quite nice. Then over here we do have a big glowing garage door for you, the Aztec Garage Door. This one's going to run you $2.99. It is a glowing door, so that is probably, you know, why it's having a little bit of a higher price there. But as you can see, it just has this beautiful sculpt. You've got these snakes that come up and along the sides. There's some skulls up in each corner. A snake comes down there. Then we have these kind of, I don't know, they kind of remind me of hyenas, but I don't think there's hyenas in South America, so it's probably some kind of like wild dog. It could be something completely different. So guys, if you know what it is, put in the comment, because I'm actually curious myself. So hey, there's that. And then we've got this really cool design with part skull and like ruby eyes. So let's go ahead and take a look at that glow. It is our only glowing skin for this week. You will note, though, however, the roller does not glow. That is a bit of a downside and worth mentioning. So let's go ahead and take a look at our weapons. All right, first up, we have a salvage sword. And look at this thing. It's like a machete plus. It's got ridges on the back. It's got this super sharp blade right there. And then you've got this kind of like serrated blade at the front with tiger or panther, or let's just say big cat teeth or claws to go along for the extra damage. And then you've got some tiger skin across it, especially there on the grip. So, I mean, this really fits right in and it looks really badass. And for that, it does seem to carry a higher price tag. Believe it or not, a sword is one of the most expensive skins this week. Kind of crazy, but $2.99, and you can add this beautiful salvage sword to your collection. Moving on, we have ourselves a double barrel shotgun for you, and look at this one. This has kind of more of the realistic look. The scales themselves look wet. They're really beautifully sculpted. They pop off. You know, it's not just painted on. There's a nice detailed eye. Lots of teeth up there in the front. Then when you aim down the sights, you got two more eyes staring right back at you in some croc camo, and then a really kind of scratched up old wooden screw driver right there. It definitely has a mean look, and it fits right in to this jungle update. So there you have it, the Croco double barrel $249. Moving on, we have ourselves a couple of pistols. The first one here is going to be the Jungle Bite Python. This one's going to run you the usual $199. It has kind of like a bit of a cell-shaded look to it. You can see kind of like the dark going around the edges. It kind of gives it a little more emphasis on the scales, and it makes the teeth and eyes pop a little bit more. And of course, aiming down the sights, you've got this crazy little face. And I love how they use the hammer to be the bottom jaw. And then it almost looks like he has like a red little mohawk with the sight. So altogether, they did a really cool job with this. And of course, people are going to ask, wait, does it have glow sights? Glow sights have been banned for years. So of course, the guns that already had them still have it, but no new ones, none there. There is our reload. Moving on to our other pistol this week, we've got the Tropico SAP, and this thing is, well, basically like a toucan. You've got this really colorful beak, very much so looking like a toucan. Then you've got the blues and the greens, and then the grip itself has some nice, it looks like, what are those, palm fronds or maybe monstera leaves. Very nice and bright, very colorful. Aiming down the sights, you have jungle vines and some fancy little kind of green kind of design pattern. And then you have an orange tip to the sights to match along with the beak, but you can also see there's some little green dots on the back sight, which is black. So I always like when they do some extra effort with the variation there. All right, and moving on to our last weapon, we do have an AK for you this week, and this is one a lot of people were clamoring for. This is the Heat Seeker AR. It also is going to carry the high price this week of $299. This thing is just really crazy looking. It's brought to us by Phase, and it just has this very unique look. And actually, depending on how light hits it, you'll see it gets this crazy kind of green shine or shimmer. So it does have a bit of a color change. Then you've got this crazy tiger art right in the middle there. And then when you aim down the sights, it has that same effect. Look at that. It goes straight from purple to green. And you just have that craziness with those claws. Same thing kind of happens with the front sights even. And then you have this little yellow tip sight, but it has holes cut into it. So it's not quite as cut as other sights, but it is completely unique from, we'll come up here and you can really see it up against, something of a solid background there. If we look up into the sky. And yeah, that's just very different. So how do you guys feel about that kind of sight on an AR? But that is going to do it. Thanks everybody for all your well wishes and bearing with me the fact that, this video is late. But hey, better late than never. We'll see you tomorrow for this next week's skin picks and top skins. And thanks for watching. Stay rusty.